In a stunning revelation, reports surrounding Travis Kelce's contract have raised serious questions about the future of both his career and the Kansas City Chiefs' long-term strategy. Known as one of the most dominant tight ends in NFL history, Kelce's consistency and leadership have defined an era of success for the franchise. Yet, beneath the admiration and highlight reels lies a growing conversation, one that few are addressing publicly. Financial pressures, roster restructuring, and the evolving dynamics of the Chiefs' salary cap have placed Kelce's deal under new scrutiny. For years, his loyalty and willingness to take less money were celebrated as selfless. Now, insiders suggest that the true story behind his contract tells a different tale, one of sacrifice, imbalance, and long-term implications. This chapter introduces the brewing tension between financial reality and personal dedication, setting the stage for a deeper exploration into what Travis Kelce's contract truly reveals about loyalty, legacy, and the business side of football. When Travis Kelce signed his current extension with the Kansas City Chiefs, it was hailed as a masterclass in commitment. The deal, structured below market value, allowed the team to retain key pieces and build a championship-caliber roster around Patrick Mahomes. Kelce, already one of the NFL's elite players, chose stability and winning culture over personal profit. At the time, the move was celebrated as an example of selflessness rarely seen in professional sports. Yet, as new contracts reshaped the financial landscape, his value began to appear understated. Younger tight ends with fewer accolades surpassed his annual salary, raising eyebrows across the league. Kelce's decision, once viewed as noble, now seems layered with complexity. Was it a strategic sacrifice for legacy or a financial compromise that underestimated his worth? This chapter examines how one of the NFL's most team-friendly deals became a double-edged sword, solidifying success while sparking silent questions about fairness and long-term recognition. Examining the numbers reveals just how extraordinary Kelce's contract situation truly is. His annual salary ranks well below players who lack his production, longevity, or leadership. Statistically, Kelce continues to outperform nearly every tight end in the league, maintaining elite consistency deep into his career. However, his pay reflects a structure from earlier seasons before the market exploded with record-breaking deals. Analysts note that his average annual earnings sit millions below the current standard for elite offensive playmakers. For a player who redefined the position, this financial gap is striking. The Chiefs benefited immensely from this arrangement, using the flexibility to strengthen their roster elsewhere. Yet, it also underscores the hidden cost of loyalty in a business-driven league. Behind the glamour of championships lies an uncomfortable truth. The same deal that helped build a dynasty may now underpay one of its foundational pillars. This chapter uncovers the imbalance between performance value and compensation reality. From the Chiefs' viewpoint, Kelce's contract symbolizes both gratitude and practicality. The team's salary cap is anchored by major investments in Patrick Mahomes and other key talents, requiring careful allocation of funds across the roster. Kelce's team-friendly deal allowed management to sustain depth in critical areas, reinforcing Kansas City's championship formula. However, such balance comes at a moral cost. As financial commitments grow elsewhere, compensating veteran players fairly becomes increasingly difficult. The Chiefs' front office faces a delicate equation, maintaining competitiveness while honoring long-serving contributors. Insiders suggest that discussions regarding future restructuring are ongoing, but timing and long-term impact remain uncertain. The organization publicly praises Kelce's loyalty, yet privately understands the fragile optics of underpaying a generational player. This chapter explores how financial strategy, while essential for sustained success, often collides with personal recognition, revealing the quiet tension between business sustainability and the human side of professional sports. Travis Kelce's mindset remains grounded in loyalty, teamwork, and legacy. Throughout his career, he has emphasized that personal fulfillment comes from winning contractual numbers. His connection with Patrick Mahomes and trust in Andy Reid's system have kept him fully invested in Kansas City's vision. Yet, beneath the surface, the emotional complexity of sacrifice cannot be ignored. Every athlete understands the finite nature of a career. As younger players secure record-breaking deals, Kelce's humility has become both admired and questioned. Does loyalty outweigh personal valuation? His actions suggest that fulfillment through legacy matters more than financial ranking. Still, insiders believe he recognizes the imbalance but chooses peace over confrontation. His focus remains on consistency, leadership, and mentoring future stars. This chapter delves into Kelce's inner philosophy, a rare blend of humility and ambition, and how his quiet strength defines the unspoken code between individual worth and team loyalty in professional sports. The modern NFL economy has transformed dramatically since Kelce's last contract signing. Tight ends like George Kittle, Darren Waller, and Mark Andrews have redefined salary benchmarks, pushing compensation to unprecedented levels. Their deals reflect the evolution of the position. Tight ends now function as primary offensive weapons, not secondary options. Yet, Kelce's performance still surpasses many of these contemporaries. Statistical comparisons show that despite earning significantly less, he consistently leads in receptions, yardage, and touchdowns. The disparity highlights the shifting priorities in team financial planning. Younger stars command premium deals based on potential, while veterans often face reduced valuation despite proven excellence. Analysts view Kelce's situation as the perfect example of how loyalty can lag behind market progression. This chapter contrasts his achievements with league trends, revealing how evolving economics have unintentionally left one of football's greatest contributors financially undervalued despite sustained elite performance. Insiders describe Kelce's contract discussions as straightforward, professional, and deeply respectful. He reportedly prioritized team stability over personal gain, insisting that management allocate resources to preserve championship potential. Andy Reid's relationship with Kelce, built on trust and open communication, ensured that negotiations never turned confrontational. However, sources close to the situation reveal that Kansas City's front office remains aware of the growing disparity between Kelce's pay and market reality. Internal talks have touched on the possibility of restructuring to reflect his ongoing contributions, though timing remains uncertain. Kelce's representatives understand that his legacy extends beyond finances, but fairness remains a point of principle. For both sides, this issue extends past numbers. It touches respect, gratitude, and symbolic acknowledgement of his influence. This chapter provides insight into the private dynamics of a negotiation built not on conflict, but on mutual appreciation, navigating the difficult balance between loyalty and evolving market value within the Chiefs' locker room. Travis Kelce's presence embodies leadership through action. Younger players observe his humility and dedication, recognizing that his sacrifice helps sustain their collective success. His willingness to prioritize the team over individual wealth has fostered a culture of accountability and unity. However, such leadership also sets a difficult precedent. Not every player can or should follow the same path, especially in a business where longevity is unpredictable. Teammates respect his example, but also acknowledge the quiet unfairness behind it. Kelce's influence extends beyond the field. He bridges generations, connecting rookies with veterans through discipline and empathy. The contrast between his modest contract and outsized impact deepens admiration, but also fuels discussions about balance between legacy and leverage. This chapter explores how leadership built on selflessness strengthens team culture, but also exposes the uncomfortable truth of sacrifice within competitive professional environments. Despite the magnitude of the issue, the public conversation around Kelce's contract remains surprisingly muted. Media coverage often focuses on his achievements, charisma, and partnership with Mahomes, while the financial narrative lingers beneath the surface. Fans admire his loyalty, but rarely grasp its financial implications. Analysts acknowledge the imbalance, yet hesitate to criticize an arrangement that contributed to multiple championships. The truth remains hidden in plain sight, Kelce's value to Kansas City extends far beyond measurable statistics or salary figures. His sacrifice is both the foundation of their dynasty and an unspoken reminder of professional compromise. Some see it as selflessness, others as quiet exploitation masked by success. The league's silence reflects how business priorities often overshadow fairness discussions. This chapter exposes the paradox of admiration, how the very qualities that make Kelce beloved also shield the uncomfortable reality of being underappreciated. In a system driven by performance and economics, Kelce's contract reveals far more than numbers. It tells a story of principle, purpose, and perspective. In a league defined by transactions, he chose trust over tension and legacy over leverage. While his deal may not mirror his market worth, it symbolizes something rarer: commitment to culture and collective success. The Chiefs' dynasty owes much to his quiet sacrifice, and history will remember that contribution far more deeply than financial figures. Yet, his story also challenges the system itself, raising questions about how professional sports reward loyalty and value experience. Kelce's impact transcends economics. It redefines what leadership looks like in an era obsessed with personal gain. His true worth is reflected not in contracts, but in the enduring stability, respect, and excellence he has cultivated. This final chapter closes with recognition that some legacies are measured not in dollars, but in the unspoken influence that shapes greatness itself.